Yes, hello again and welcome back to another episode of Mags Frags, your ultimate destination for all things fragrance. If you join me today for the first time, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell icon so you're always in the loop and you don't miss any of my future uploads. So today we're deep diving into another treasure trove of fragrances from the Perfume Parlour. And I've handpicked 7 remarkable duplicates of some of the most exclusive and sought after niche fragrances in the world, but only these are slightly different because they come at a fraction of the cost. All of these gems in today's haul are slightly more creative and complex blends with intricate note breakdowns, so they are sure to set you apart in the crowd. They're probably going to be better suited to people who are just a little bit deeper into their fragrance journey and perhaps looking for something just a touch more unique and edgy. So if you've only ever worn designer fragrances in the past, you might find these just a bit more challenging, but certainly don't let that put you off giving them a try. And here's the cherry on top. Whenever you shop at the Perfume Parlour, don't forget to use code PAUL10 at the checkout, and that'll give you an exclusive 10% discount off any purchase site-wide. It's a special thank you from myself and the guys over at the Perfume Parlour to all of you for just being part of the Mags Frags community. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to talk about today is called Wizard, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0310. This is a copy of Cahuyan from Parfums de Marly, which tends to fly a bit more under the radar compared to some of the other Parfums de Marly fragrances. This is a unique take on a leather fragrance, and it opens up with some wild floral notes including violet leaf, jasmine and heliotrope, but it's the violet leaf that really stands out to me personally, so it's definitely not a feminine style floral opening, that's for sure. And this has a masculine, earthy smelling introduction with a pungent petrol-like accord coming from that violet leaf note, and you'll instantly come across it. It's not as prominent as what you'd get in something like Dior Fahrenheit or anything like that, but it's definitely there, and it's the first thing I personally picked up on. It's not long before that leather note comes through and starts to take over and dominate the dry down, bringing a rich, deep and intense aroma with some mild animalic nuances just lurking in the background. Heliotrope adds a light almond-like aroma, which softens the robust leather note in the heart of the scent. And the base features oud, ambergris and tonka bean. The oud adds a complex woody and slightly balsamic aroma. The ambergris brings a resinous warmth, while the tonka bean introduces a sweet caramel-like accord. So, although this is a leather-based fragrance, it has a slightly sweet gourmand quality to it. This Perfume Parlour copy is absolutely spot on in terms of its accuracy, and they seem to be able to just nail the accuracy of Parfums de Marly fragrances, because all the ones that I own personally, they're kind of a total mirror image to the original versions. The performance on this extract spray is also on par with the original, and you'll still be catching wafts of this 8 hours after you've first sprayed it. This is a fragrance that appeals to a more mature audience and those who favour kind of more aromatic complexity. It offers a bold and complex scent profile, albeit with a seductive, cosy depth, making it ideal for chilly evenings or nights out. It won't be for everyone, that's for sure, but if you want a sexy, dark and masculine fragrance that smells like you've been riding your Harley Davidson wearing your favourite leather jacket, then this is your fella. Okay, so next up is one that goes by the name of Falter, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1194. This is a copy of Shem by Nishané, and if you're thinking about picking up a bottle of the original, make sure to set aside £500, which will get you just a 50ml bottle size. This 30ml extract spray from the Perfume Parlour is going to cost you just £20, and in my opinion it's about 95% similar. The top notes in this are cardamom, geranium and Turkish rose. In the heart we've got amber, osmanthus and nagamother, and the base notes in this are vetiver, elemi resin and leather. Okay, so the opening of this one is marked by a striking note of Turkish rose, complemented by like a bitter green cardamom and geranium. It's got a strong Middle Eastern presence with the highly fragrant rose note combining with the mild spices to produce a rich and luxurious aroma. It starts out sweet, but not overly so, with just a spicy edge that lends it a distinct character. As it dries down and develops, it becomes a lot more green and earthy smelling, with osmanthus, nagamother and the vetiver notes bringing a somewhat dry, breezy, outdoorsy accord to the heart of the scent. But it's not a fresh green sheeper fragrance as such, and it retains lots of warmth and depth from a really strong base of leather, amber and the elemi resin. This combination grounds the fragrance and just adds balance whilst tying all the other fresher notes together. It's a bold and assertive aroma that's way too much to wear as an everyday scent, but one that really commands attention when you're on a night out or you're attending a special event. The leather note in this is really dominant, giving the fragrance a really robust character, whilst the spicy undertone just adds a bit of mystery and allure. The floral and sweet aspects are present all the way through, so it doesn't really lean too heavily masculine, but in my opinion it does definitely lean on the kind of masculine side of centre. In terms of performance, I would say it's the longest lasting in the whole of today's list and has the strongest projection, and it will linger around on clothes for literally days. Okay, next up we have one called Intensely Scented for Him. And the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1919. This is a copy of Amoris Homme by Maison Francis Kirk Jan, and this was first launched in 2012. The top notes in this one are Sicilian mandarin and rosemary. In the mid we've got milk chocolate, iris, coffee, coconut and Jamaican amyris, and the base notes are agar wood and tonka beans. Okay, so this one opens up with a really refreshing burst of Sicilian mandarin, which is sweet and really juicy smelling, whilst the rosemary adds an aromatic, slightly herbal edge. This combination offers a lively and invigorating introduction that has a really bright and summery character. And for a niche fragrance, it is very likeable and, dare I say it, even pretty mass appealing. As it dries down and the fragrance starts to evolve, it becomes more rich and indulgent with notes of chocolate, coconut, coffee and iris, producing a warm, sweet and comforting aroma with a smooth velvety texture. But of course the main note in this is that Jamaican amyris note, which produces a fresh balsamic piney accord, so this prevents it from becoming overly sweet and cloying. In its final stages, it settles into a rich base of tonka beans and Atlas cedar wood. The tonka bean provides a comforting warmth, reminiscent of almonds, and we've got some vanilla and also a hint of tobacco-like richness there also. And overall, Amoris Homme stands out for its really balanced blend of freshness and warmth, creating a scent that's both modern and timeless. It's a really classy, relaxing fragrance that's absolutely perfect for the upcoming festive season. I think out of all the ones in today's haul, this is the one of the safest blind buys. However, it's not what I'd call masculine smelling scent, despite the Homme in the name. The performance is pretty decent, although maybe not as strong as some of the others in this list. And you get a nice moderate projection that's not too overpowering, so it's great to wear as a work scent or a casual daily driver. And you will still be smelling it on yourself a good 6 to 7 hours after you've first sprayed it. This is definitely one to check out for yourself if you haven't already done so, so make sure to include it in your next Perfume Parlour order. Okay, so the fourth one in today's haul is called Captivating Cocktail, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0377. This is a copy of Magnetic Blend 8 by Initio Parfums, which is a fairly dark, smoky, resinous scent that's one of the more polarising ones in today's list, that's for sure. It is meant to be a unisex fragrance, but in my own personal opinion, I think it leans way more masculine, with notes of oak moss, olibanum, incense and musk, producing a complex and very interesting aroma that's been described many times by other reviewers as smelling like WD-40 or the inside of a mechanic's workshop. It's got like an oily, smoky scent profile with a bit of like dirty grittiness about it. So petrolheads might enjoy this one, but it's one that you'll either simply love or you'll hate it, and there's no middle ground with it whatsoever. It is quite a warm, intoxicating smelling scent that will be better suited to the colder months of the year, but there's nothing much I can really say about it other than it does smell like a mechanic's overalls, and that's really not something I'd consider wearing to complement like a tailored suit or to attend a job interview or anything of that nature. It may work well with jeans and a leather jacket if you were heading out to a gig or something like that, but I'm not sure if this is one I'd personally ever reach for. The performance is pretty potent though, and it has a huge projection that just lasts for a good 9 to 10 hours easily. This is a complex and a divisive scent that will definitely challenge your senses, but don't let that stop you from at least giving it a go and trying it out, because it does leave kind of an hypnotic scent trail that will definitely get you noticed. Okay, next up we've got one that goes by the name of Special Resin, and the perfume palette code on this particular one is 1421. This is a copy of Ombre Royal by Ormond Jane, which is a bright and cheerful ambery floral scent that opens up with a mix of sappy green herbs and plenty of juicy orange, producing a bright but slightly tart introduction, with also a bit of pepperiness just sprinkled on top. There's lots of ambroxan that comes through as it starts to dry down, so you will pick up on a slightly salty aquatic freshness, although the heart of the scent is also laced with plenty of exotic florals including orchid, Chinese osmanthus and iris, so you get an interesting conflict between the slightly sour fresh top notes and the sweeter muskier florals in the heart. I'd say the introduction and through into the dry down of this maybe just leans a touch more feminine, so pretty much the polar opposite to the last fragrance that I spoke about. But having said that, it's not overly feminine, and once the amber, tonka beans and patchouli come through from the base, it balances it all out and it just makes it more suitable for guys to confidently wear. It is one of the more easier ones to wear and more versatile scents in today's haul, with almost a designer fragrance quality to it. However, it does smell quite opulent and sophisticated, so people will think you're wearing something quite expensive, and it's a pretty unique aroma that you won't have come across too often. This extract spray again is pretty much spot on to the original in terms of its accuracy, and the performance is great with a very strong room-filling projection that lasts a good 6 to 7 hours. It's a pretty good all-rounder that you can wear day or night, and it's definitely worth picking up if you want to try something slightly unique smelling, but it isn't going to be too challenging, or there's nothing complex in this whatsoever. Okay, so the penultimate one in today's haul is called Majestic Beans, and the perfume parlour code on this one is 1440. This is a copy of Tonka Imperial by Guerlain, and I'm not going to lie, this is hands down my favourite one in today's haul. It's a remarkable fragrance, notable for its rich and complex scent profile. And it starts out with that stunning bitter almond note that Guerlain are worldwide famous for, and which is the most prominent note in throughout the L'Homme line. So if you've ever owned any of these in this line, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We've also got some bergamot and rosemary in the opening, so the introduction is bright with a touch of citrusy sparkle, and you get like this herbaceous outdoorsy freshness. But it's not long before the rich darker notes come through, and it soon develops into a warm, sweet and slightly musky aroma with a velvety smooth texture. The tonka bean produces a creamy, almost caramel-like warmth, while the rosemary retains that slightly herbal touch well into the dry down. The fragrance settles into a rich base of tobacco and amber, which brings a deep, resonant warmth. This base is further enhanced with hints of incense and cedar, adding a hint of woody complexity and also a touch of smokiness. And basically, this is the perfect autumn and winter fragrance in my opinion. It's rich and sophisticated smelling, and every time I've worn it, somebody somewhere has commented on it and told me that I smell amazing. This Perfume Parlour copy again is perfect in terms of its accuracy, and it has a superb performance. So if you can only afford to try one of these in today's list, then make sure it's this one. It's a super classy scent to wear dressed up or casually, and it's perfect for the colder months of the year. And last but not least, we've got one called Reed. And the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1821. This is a copy of Lafayette Street by Bond No. 9, which is classed as an amber fougere fragrance. And you wouldn't normally associate an amber dominant scent to be overly fresh, but that's exactly what you get with this one. It starts out very fresh indeed, and also with some fruity elements. You've got the zesty bergamot combining with an apple note, and also some coriander, just to bring a bit of mild spice to the background. This also includes ambroxan and ambergris, so there is a prominent salty aquatic element in it in the beginning, but in the base there's also some vanilla, tonka beans and woody notes that do come through and bring some warmth and sweetness. But not so much so that it ever becomes like a sweet scent or overly sweet and cloying. And this predominantly stays bright and fresh throughout, with kind of a carbonated fruit juice vibe about it, or maybe even an apple scented shampoo or a shower gel. It's probably not quite as unique and quirky smelling as some of the others in this list, but this is a very easy to wear and versatile fragrance that you could just wear all year round as a casual everyday scent. The performance is decent enough with a strong projection for the first couple of hours, but then it does settle down and sit a bit closer to the skin once the fresher chords start to fizzle out, and you're left with a slightly sweeter, intimate aroma. This is one that I'd happily recommend that you try out from the Perfume Parlour, because there's absolutely nothing to dislike in this one whatsoever, but for me it's just not unique enough to ever make me want to pay niche prices for it and maybe pick up a bottle of the original. Okay, so in summary, the standout ones for me in this particular haul are the Tonka Imperial copy, the Amaris Homme copy, and also the Cahuyan copy that I spoke about first. However, every single one of these in today's haul are going to be a little bit more daring and slightly more divisive and out there than your usual mass-appealing designer fragrances. And depending on the individual, you'll either love them or you'll loathe them in equal measures. So it's just a matter of having some fun and trying them out for yourself and seeing which blends with your own unique personality. It doesn't matter one bit which ones I prefer or enjoy, because we've all got different tastes, and all I'm here to do is just to make you aware of what's available and just to provide a quick overview and a description of what I personally get from them. So just enjoy it and have fun discovering your own fragrances on your own scent journey. Okay, so once again, that's about it for today's Perfume Parlour haul video, but don't forget I've got plenty more of these haul videos coming up between now and Christmas, so keep your eyes peeled for them. Also, if you've found this video useful in any way and you enjoy these Perfume Parlour videos, then don't forget to show some support and give it a like, and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I also love hearing from you down in the comments section about which Perfume Parlour fragrances you've tried and you've really enjoyed, and your suggestions often inspire my next review, so definitely keep them coming. So as always guys, thank you very much once again for tuning in today. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye bye for now.